Alright. Cell phone charger back there if you need one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You going somewhere fun or going for work?
Sorry?
You going somewhere fun or going somewhere for work?
I was actually here for work, so I'm going home.
Going home, okay.
But my buddy lives here, and so since I was here, like I had meetings Thursday, Friday, but then figured, you know what, like I'll spend the night, see him, go out Friday night, and then head back to New York today instead.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, this is a great area too.
Yeah, I haven't spent a bunch of time in the area, but he was saying that it's very up and coming as well, and lots of young people. Yeah, and like when we were out last night on the street, like there was a lot, like there's a lot happening.
Yeah, it's a great area. This West Randolph area. Yeah, tons of stuff. Fulton Market and all these restaurants. Google was here for a while.
Yeah, he was saying.
Yeah, so it's kind of big. Yeah. What do you do for work?
Private equity.
Oh, okay.
So one of the portfolio companies that I work with is based just outside of Chicago in Buffalo Grove.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm here like once a quarter usually.
Oh, okay.
For like board meetings and stuff like that.
I see. Now is that so private equity, you have a portfolio, so like are they a company that's part of your portfolio of things that you manage, or they have a portfolio and you work with them?
No, so like our portfolio is made up of like individual companies that we think are good investments, and like they're all standalone businesses that will then buy, hold for kind of call it 3 to 5 years, maybe a little bit longer, and ideally grow the business, improve it, and sell it for more money.
Right.
So like this company here, like it's a software business, and they do treasury management software, which is basically like the product that they sell helps other businesses like know where their cash is. Sure. So like if you've got like a company that's got a couple of different like subsidiaries or like operations globally, and so they have bank accounts all across the world at like 10 different banks, like the treasurer or the CFO can like use this software and see exactly what the cash position is in one place.
Sure.
And like when you have things like the SVB collapsing last year, like, and all these companies not knowing where any of their cash was, like it's a pretty like crucial tool for like a CFO or a treasurer.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and put it all into a single pane of glass where you can view it.
Yeah, exactly. Like a single dashboard, and then like it tells you, okay, like the next step is then forecasting of cash. So it's like, okay, like how much cash am I going to need like 13 weeks from now? And do I have that? Because if I don't, then I need to figure it out quickly.
Yeah.
Or like move cash from one place to the other to make sure you have a sufficient cash balance in a specific bank account. Or something like that.
That's pretty great. Yeah, that forecasting, that's a great tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great to say, okay, here's the burn rate that we're at, here's how much it's going to last.
Exactly.
Whatever, and then,
exactly.
Yeah, so here's what we need to do. That's great. Yeah, that's a really good software.
Yeah, so hopefully it's a good one for us. We'll see. We just bought the company in June.
Okay.
So it's been like 6 months now.
Ah, okay. And what part of the portfolio management do you do? Are you like on the let's sign you up, let's do the buying? Do you do the evaluating, or?
Yeah, so like I do the actual like the investing portion of it. So like I like the selection, the like diligence around the business, and like the actual like buying of it, and then you stay involved during the hold, but like I'm not an operator.
Sure.
So like we do have people that are like what we call like on our portfolio operations team that like they're all they've all had ex corporate jobs. So like if we need help like with our sales or with like the product, like there's people that we can kind of slot in there to help like fix certain things.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've always thought of private equity as they just acquire, hold on to, and do something, but you actually transform the company and turn it into something and say, here, we're going to take the product and let's invest into it and find a way to make it a good product and beef up whatever the company.
Yeah, and it depends on the business. Like sometimes like sometimes the product is already great, right?
Yeah.
And so you don't need to touch that portion of it, but it's like, okay, well, like how can we like add to it maybe to then sell that to the existing customers and make it a more attractive offering for like new buyers everywhere.
Sure.
Or like the product is great, but for some reason like the business isn't doing well selling it. So like how can we help them fix that? Like Because
Yeah.
in the old days, and like this is like in the older days, like you could really just buy a company, put a bunch of debt on it, hold it, and sell it, and basically financially engineer like a good return.
Right.
But now that's becoming a lot harder to do. So you actually have to like improve things at the company. So improve the profitability, grow the revenue, and then hopefully like you're selling it at a similar like multiple to what you bought it at, and that's where your like profit, like as a private equity firm, your profit comes from.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because definitely, I heard the idea of private equity. They come in, they buy, they lay everybody off, and then they sell what's left. But now it sounds like it's doing something operationally for it.
Yeah, and like obviously, like there are private equity firms that still will do that. Like they'll basically come in, they'll cut out a bunch of jobs, improve margins, and sell it. But like the thing is like that's often not really that sustainable for the business. And if you want to keep growing the business, you need headcount.
Exactly.
And so it's just like it's usually a bad sign when you see a firm coming in and doing that. Like, granted, like there are always businesses that like maybe are like not being run as efficiently as possible, and so you'll take some headcount out.
Yeah.
But like that never should be your primary driver of like how you're going to get your return.
That makes perfect sense. The idea you want is to grow the company, to have it be a product and have it be something that expands, as opposed to gutting it and taking just the piece of value. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
How'd you get into doing something like that? Is that something?
So I started in investment banking when I left college, and then from investment banking went on to do private equity. It's like a pretty common like next step.
I see.
Because the bankers, what they do is like they sell these companies. Like that's their job basically. Like think of them as like a real estate agent for like a company.
Yeah.
And so it's very transactional. You're not like you're learning about these businesses, but it's not like you're making a long-term investment in them.
Sure.
And what I wanted was something that was a little bit more like you were doing a little bit more like diligence. There was more of like the like investing component of it, as opposed to just like the sales mode, like putting a pretty ribbon on it and like selling it for the highest price.
Right. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so it seems like it falls into a natural.
Yeah, but a lot of the skill set is similar. So that's how I started doing the private equity.
Sure. And do you like it, or is there like an end goal you're working towards, or something else you're working towards?
I do like it. It's stressful and like difficult, but overall, like I still feel like I'm learning every day. So that's why I like it. I love the people I work with as well. So I think that from right now, the goal would just be to like keep getting promoted and like stay where I am.
Sure.
But things can be fickle, so you never know.
True. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, nowadays with the economy being what it is, it could either get a lot better or a lot worse and then better.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what does that turn into? And I imagine equity investing and now is probably a really difficult job to get into for that reasons. You don't know, is it bad because the economy's bad, or is it bad because it's a bad organization?
Yeah, and that's like the thing that you have to try and kind of vet. And then also you have to think about like, okay, well, what's the like macroeconomic environment going to look like over the next 5 years while we're trying to make this company better and grow it? And like, is it going to be able to grow as much as we need it to for the price that we're paying for it or not? And like, that's always the $1 million question.
Yeah, right.
So
literally the millions of dollars question. Yeah.
So like, it's definitely a trickier environment for sure.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
It'll be good.
Yeah, I find that stuff interesting. It's like just those little things, like, because I see all these businesses as I'm driving around, and I'm like, who are you? What do you do? How'd you get there? It's all a life. And then you think of like, well, what does that business then turn into? What steps and moves are there for that?
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like that's what it is here with this private equity. It can go to be something else. Unfortunately, I was driving by. There's like really bad traffic. I don't know what time your flight is, but
it's at 4:50.
Oh, okay, you got plenty of time.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it says it should be about 30-minute drive, but it's like a little bit of a parking lot here.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I remember the last time. Like, well, typically I don't come into the city. I just go stay out, like in Buffalo Grove, which is like fine.
Yeah.
But the last time I was in Chicago, I remember there was some traffic heading to the airport, so I just wanted to make sure that I had plenty of time.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, there definitely is, and then even more so now. There was like an accident, and so it's all of this goes into one lane. So it's It's a bit of a gridlock. Well, you're from New York, so you're used to, I guess, not driving, right?
Yeah, I don't
Let's say how
drive
bad it is.
ever, really. Like, I have a license, but like,
Yeah.
I can't tell you the last time I drove a car.
Sure. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I was in New York for, I think, Labor Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So that was last summer. I love it. It's a great city. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I walked around. We ended up walking all of Manhattan, just like the whole thing. Did a whole loop around it.
That's awesome.
And then went to Lucali's for pizza, which right. So, and then it was a lot of fun. Saw a comedy show at the Gotham, which was cool.
Oh, that's really fun. Yeah. No, New York's fun. I like it.
Yeah.
Have you lived in Chicago for a while?
I've lived here for 5 years. Yeah, 5 years last October. I grew up in California. Lived in LA and then moved here, and then
Nice.
yeah, so I get around.
Do you like it better than LA?
Definitely not. No, not even a little bit. I'm a lizard. I need heat.
Yeah.
I'm just here because my kid's mom, after her and I broke up, she moved here with my daughter.
Oh, okay.
And so I work in tech from home, and I do this in comedy, so it's like I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I just came. So.
What do you do in tech?
I'm a cloud infrastructure engineer.
Oh, nice.
So like, if companies have servers on premise, they want to go to the cloud,
Yeah.
I'll set it up and do the migration and create everything there, or like manage operations as they're in the cloud already.
Got it. So like a managed service, basically.
Yeah, I have worked for managed services. I have done just like people saying, hey, we just want to migrate and just have it be a project.
Like a new implementation, basically.
Exactly, yeah, so I'll do that. Or like, places where like we don't have any guys that manage stuff. We just migrated to Azure. Can you help us out? And
Got it.
And I'll maintain it. But like, yeah, for like big companies, like one you probably heard of, CIBC. I just finished with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you work for like a consultancy?
No, I was an employee of CIBC.
Oh, you were,
for like
okay.
2 years. But then they were like, we want you to come on site, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So then now so I work in the cloud. What do I need to go somewhere for? I don't even own pants, Yeah, I've been remote since like 2017, so it's
That's really nice.
yeah. But yeah, so that's the type of stuff I like to do. I enjoy it,
Nice.
or at least pays the bills.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. And then, how long have you been doing comedy for?
I started in 2018, but I took the pandemic off because I didn't want to get COVID and get my daughter sick or anything like that. So there's like a 3-year gap, but 5 years total. I actually started comedy because of this. So I was in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing Uber, and I would just have great conversations and get people that like really enjoyed what we were doing and laughing. And they're like, "You should do this. You should go do stand up." So I started doing that, and then I have a show where I interview people while I drive them around called "Getting in Cars with Strangers."
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so it's just it's like both of that. It's like having conversations and doing the comedies and stuff I really enjoy.
Nice. That's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's really fun.
You from New York originally?
I am. So I haven't made it very far.
Well, what's to leave? You've got everything there, right? If you like you like the weather, and it's a huge city. It's got everything there.
Yeah, certainly a big city. That's for sure.
Do you live in like New York, Manhattan?
Yeah,
proper?
I do.
Yeah, okay.
I do. I really like it. I've been there, I guess now for almost 4 years.
Cool.
Like after college,
Mhm.
since I graduated.
Yeah. Nice, yeah, and you've been sticking to it, which is, I love it. I'm very much a city person. I live like right where Lakeshore Drive ends, so like on the north side of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in the burbs for like a couple of years, and it was like the most miserable I've ever been. I hated it. Like I need 1 million people around me at all times. Like so like LA, San Francisco, San Jose, here,
Mm-hmm.
Chicago. Like that's what I need. I need the bustle. I need the
Yeah, that makes sense.
Plus, with what I do, it's like if I'm in a burb, like there's not as much work as if there is in the city.
That's fair too. Yeah. So do you live in the city now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically, but it's like I'm just outside of it, but I'm still in Chicago proper.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just right at the north side of it. It's quiet. You don't even know you're in the city, but if you want to get downtown, it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. So do you think you're going to stick with this equity, or is there any like dream? Did you do it for money, or because this is what you wanted to do?
I think because it's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's been great so far. I honestly, the plan right now is just to stick with it and go from there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It seems really interesting, which is
Yeah, no, it is. And like when you have people that you enjoy working with, and you find the work that you're doing intellectually interesting, like
right.
and stimulating, like there are worse things to be doing.
That's, and I think that says a lot. That's what's nice about me. Like, I've been remote so long, I don't know any of my coworkers. They're just voices I hear on Zoom,
Yeah.
So it's like, that's it. But like, yeah, to have a culture, to have people you like, people you go and talk to, I think that's a big deal nowadays. I think that's why like a lot of people don't want to go back to the office, because they're like, there wasn't any culture there. It was just the time suck. I just spent 40 hours in a commute to sit next to people I don't know or like, But if you can have an environment, I think that's pretty great. So I'm guessing you like go to the office every day, or
Yeah, 4 or 5 days a week.
yeah, okay.
I hope the accident wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I think this side it might be. This side was accident. This side was construction.
Okay, well that's good at least.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I'm the same way. Hopefully, people walk away. I like when people walk away from accidents.
Yeah.
The worst one I saw, I was in downtown, and I had my kid in the car, and I'm like, there's this major traffic. You see all these lights over here, and there was a car you see on top of another car. And I was like, oh, there's no way that's good. And it's like, I'm like watching, and I'm telling my kid, don't look out the window. But then as I get closer, I see like a table with like food on it, and I see like cameras and stuff, and I'm like, oh, they're filming Chicago PD. So it was
That's good.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, cool, all right, this is not
Okay.
bad. But because it looked bad, you see the car was flipped, there was fire, the wheels were spinning. I was like, oh, that is not good. Something major happened there, but it was just one of the Chicago shows.
Yeah. Do you perform at a comedy club in Chicago?
Not anyone specific. I go to like the open mics and stuff still. So Northside Chicago has a lot of stuff. Wicker Park, Wrigleyville, like they have a lot of little open mics. So I go to
nice.
those. Yeah,
That's fun.
yeah, that's what I enjoy.
I have a friend in New York who's been doing some open mics as well, and she loves it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
been a recent thing for her.
that's great. Hopefully she sticks with it. New York's a great place to do comedy. There's so
Yeah.
many places to go. So many. That's really, you can go up 4 or 5 times a night when you're new, which
Yeah.
is big. Like it's getting the time on stage. You need 10,000 hours to get good at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if she just starts, that's the place to do it for sure. That's great.
Do you get back to LA often, or?
I have not been in 10 years actually. Yeah, I left when my daughter was being born, moved here, and I have not been back. I want to, and as soon as she's 18, I'm gonna move back. But I just haven't. But the closest was like I was flying to Hawaii, so I went to LAX
Yeah.
on the way. But
On
that
the
was
way.
it. Yeah. Yeah, but I very much miss it. I'm a lizard. Like I need the heat. I need it warm all the time. So I'm very much not a Midwest person.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But the Midwesterners are nice.
That's really the difference. I've always said that like in LA, everybody's people, they call it fake. I say they're putting on a show, right? They're acting. They're putting on a show. It's not that bad. But in the Midwest, everybody's just who they are. They're very earnest. They're very much just they're just the people that they are. And that's it. Which I like. I think there's something to that.
Yeah. There is.
Do you think you'll be in New York your whole life, or are you gonna?
I don't know. I'm open to other opportunities. I think it kind of just depends. Like right now, I don't see myself leaving New York,
Yeah.
but I'll never say never.
Wherever life takes you. You're still young. You don't have kids. You can go anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I was always very much a nomad. Like when I lived in LA, I was at like new places every couple of months because I had actors as roommates, and when they can't pay the rent, you have to move. But after a while, it was like, you know, now I have a kid, like you have to be stable. But
Yeah.
I always wanted to go. I had an idea for like a travel show called Citizen of the World, where you just live somewhere for like 90 days. Just go to some new place and go, you know, where do you get food? Where do you
Yeah.
do your laundry? Because I'm just so curious about that. But now I'm too old. I can't go anywhere.
That's not true. I feel like you once your daughter is older, you can have some freedom again.
Yeah. All right, here you are.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Have a great flight.
Really appreciate it.